from. If you're outside of the U.S., let me know what country you represent. Throw up your flag. Family, I need you to smash up the likes, smash up the likes, smash up the likes. Also, if you have not done so already, after you subscribe, there's a little bell next to your subscribe button. Go ahead and click that thing right now so you can get your notifications each time I drop a new video like this. That way you'll be in the loop. I'm going to let a few hundred of y'all come in, then I'm going in. But in the meantime and in between time, going to give some shouts out to the early birds, starting with dun dun dun. Jackie, what's up? Cameron, what it do? This is going to be a quick live, fam. I just gotta go live and bring y'all up to speed. It's gonna be quick. Moses, what's up? Let's see. All right, fam. We got gunshots at the White House. Gunshots. Somebody say they heard about 20 shots fired at the White House. A shooter at the White House. And look, fam. The Because I'm live right now, and I'm in the streets. I can't really show you the video, but that damn thing sounded like a cannon. Boom, 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 boom. It's like that. So somebody got something heavy. Whoever was firing off got something really heavy. A lot of activity going on around the White House as of late. JD Vance was on his way out, allegedly for some other type of event, and he turned around last night. On yesterday, he turned around and headed back to the White House. Trump was supposed to be going somewhere for some type of event. He turned around, headed back to the White House. So there's something going on. Uh, but this administration is full of a lot of tricks. So I'm not sure if all of this stuff is not staged, fam. I gotta call it a strike, and a ball, a ball. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. We know they, speaking of ball, they want that ballroom. We know that, right? They want to justify getting $1 billion for that ballroom. So every single war that we've ever had, there's always been some type of distraction, right? There's always been some type of uh, a lie that was told. It always included deception. There's always been deception, right? For every war that we've ever had, there's always been deception involved, right? I bet you that you say, I bet you're going to be talking about the ballroom. Of course, I'm going to talk about the ballroom again because the ballroom, I do believe, is the reason why this stuff is happening. They want to make us feel that Donald Trump's life is in danger, so much so that he need a ballroom with a bunker and he needs all this extra security and all of this stuff. I do not believe that that's the reason why they want to build that ballroom. I think they want to build that ballroom with the bunker. I think the ballroom is the cover and the bunker is the real plan. I think they want to build that bunker so that Trump can have somewhere fortified to hide when his time is up. That's what I think is happening. Don't nobody want to party that damn bad. Who want to party that bad? Well, they need $1 billion. You need $1 billion, and the economy is tanking. American people can't afford. They getting hit at the pump. They getting hit at the cash register. They can't pay the rent. Can't pay the mortgage. And you talking about building a damn ballroom? I thought you were supposed to be saving us billions instead of costing us billions. Well, didn't he run on saving us millions? Didn't he start the whole Doge campaign, the so-called Department of Government Efficiency, to save us money? Didn't he do that? Why is he spending $1 billion on a ballroom that nobody wants but him? Nobody wants the ballroom. Nobody needs the ballroom. What we need is some relief at pump. What we need is some jobs. What we need is some stimulus checks to help us get over the hump. Now, why am I concerned about this? I'm all right financially because it's bigger than me. That's why. It's bigger than me. They always try to tell celebrities to shut up when they don't agree with them, but let them agree with them, and they all for the celebrity speaking out. Well, I don't get no advice. I don't take it. I don't take political advice from celebrities. But let a celebrity go over to the White House and kiss Trump's ass, and watch how fast they be behind him. Yeah, they be rooting for him. I got you, man. I know you. I know you well. Shut up and dribble unless you're playing ball with me. Unless you're playing ball. That's how they go. That's how that go. Yeah. I think this is a distraction. I think it's all deception. I think all of that shooting and going on by the White House at the White House is all planned out, just like the last 8 or 9 assassination attempts. I think it's all planned out. It's all to try to make Trump look invincible. It's all to try to make Trump seem like he's doing such a great job that people want him dead. It's all fake. Fake news. I don't believe none of it. I believe that this whole thing is about trying to convince the American people that Donald Trump's life is so much in danger that we need to just give him the $1 billion and shut up. Just give him the $1 billion and be quiet. That's what that's about. I do believe. I don't believe that whoever this shooter is a random shooter. How many, fam? We ain't never had a president had come so close to gunfire so many times and don't get downed, don't even get touched. That whole little ear thing, that little ear nip stuff. Who got shot in the ear and got a perfect ear, still got a perfect, well, his ear ain't perfect. It's still Donald Trump is on a really horrible person, but so it ain't never gonna be perfect. But ain't no meat missing nowhere. He ain't got no flesh nowhere missing. But he got shot in the ear. Come on, fam. That don't make sense. You see Holyfield ear, what it looked like, right? He got his ear bit off and they put it back together, and you can still tell that it was injured. You can still tell that it was maimed. You can tell. I don't believe none of it. I think it's a hoax. I think that they set this up to make it seem like Trump's life was in danger so that they can get that money for that ballroom. Now, it is Memorial Day weekend, right? You got Memorial Day weekend. Is that now? Is Memorial Day weekend this weekend or is it next weekend? I, when is Memorial Day weekend, family? Is it this weekend or next weekend? Because I know people like to shoot guns and stuff on Memorial Day weekend. It's this weekend. Okay. All right. So you got people shooting guns and stuff like that, right? But that ain't what that was about. Nobody's just firing guns by the White House celebrating Memorial Day weekend, especially not something that sounds like that. Those gunshots sounded like cannons. It was I'm talking about whatever they was firing was something big. It was heavy. Whatever it was something heavy. So I'm not buying the fact that this is some type of random shooter. Some, like nobody shoot that often at a president and miss. No, the president don't come that close to that much gunfire and don't get down. People that want to harm the president, these people take sometimes months and years to plan out these attacks. And when they strike, they oftentimes hit their target. No president has had what he had 4, 5, 6, 7 attempts on his life and ain't nobody downed him. He done had this shoot over at the golf course. He had a shooter in Butler, Pennsylvania. He had a shooter at the White House 2 times. He had a shooter at another. Man, get out of here. Ain't no shooters missing that much. No shooter is missing that much. You're not going to get, you know how determined you have to be to want to shoot the president of the United States? You know how determined you must be? You know how much not giving a damn you have to be to make an attempt on the president of the United States? Do you know how do you know how much gall you have to make an attempt on the life of the president of the United States? This is a person that do not care if they get killed or not. These are people who don't care if they get shot. They don't care if they get caught. They want to get away, but they don't care if they get away or not. They're indifferent. They're going to be more accurate than all of these past so-called shootings. They're going to be way more accurate. Let me tell you something, fam. This is something I know for a fact. There is nothing harder to stop than a determined mind. When a person is determined to do something, good, bad, or evil, or angelic, they're going to do it most of the time. If you have the will, the capability, and the drive to do anything, that's going to more than likely get done, whatever it is. Everybody that's listening, that's within the sound of my voice right now, think about your own life. Anytime you've had the talent to do something, you've had the will, you've had the talent, and you had the drive, it got done. It got done every time. So there's no amount of protection nobody can have if somebody is dead set on dropping them. And that person has a certain level of intelligence to plot and plan. It would be a wrap, no matter who it is. It would be a wrap. Now you start adding these people who are more sophisticated and they're backed with government funds and all this type of stuff. Man, it's a wrap. JFK had no way out. JFK had no way out. Malcolm had no way out. Once the wheels for that assassination went into motion, there was no way out. Martin Luther King had no way out. Bobby Kennedy had no way out. Once the wheels went in motion, there was no way out. So ain't nobody invincible. Nobody's invincible. Ain't no such thing as a Teflon Don. Nobody's invincible. You got people saying, well, you know, that was probably just gunshots because people are celebrating Memorial Day weekend. Man, I think the whole thing was planned. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I think the whole thing was planned. I think they went and got somebody. Look, man, we need a distraction. We need another distraction. We need something. We need some type. We got to do something deceptive. You know, it, it, we're fighting too hard to get these votes that we need to get this money we need. It's too much resistance. We're meeting too much resistance. Let me tell you how diabolical some governments are. I'm going to tell you how diabolical some governments are. Some governments are so diabolical that they will kill their own citizens, an innocent citizen, to create chaos, division, hatred for a specific entity or person, so that they can have an excuse to go in and destroy a specific entity or person. They will knock a plane out the sky. They will knock one of their own planes out of the sky filled with citizens of their country. 200 people, 300 people. They will knock that plane smooth out of the sky and kill all of those people to justify going to war, to justify invading a country, to justify killing one person who is standing in the way of their plans. We are dealing with some very wicked people, family. See, they got us focused on the little guy. They got us wanting to see the guy who runs into the supermarket and steals some beer. We want to see him get shot. They got us focused on the guy who runs inside of the designer store or the department store and grab a bunch of clothes and run out. Or the guy who runs into the jewelry store, bust the glass out, grab all the diamonds and stuff and run out. They got us want to kill that dude. We want to see him dead. That guy, let's say if he hit a jewelry store, he sold $1 million. He stole $1 million. Let's say if the guy breaks into a department store or steals out of a department store. Let's say he stole $1,000. Let's say he stole 30,000. That pales in comparison to what these evil people in Congress is doing. That's nothing. These people are responsible for sometimes millions of people dying. Millions. They run through billions of dollars, trillions. And you don't want to see them get knocked off. You don't want to see somebody just shoot them all of just run up and shoot them. You'll start crying if something like that happened to them. This is how much they got us brainwashed. We see every day people get killed on the street. It can be an innocent person who ain't did no wrong to nobody. And we go, oh well. but let it happen to a cop. And now the world has to stop. They got us trained. They got us trained to make us think that a police officer's life is more valuable than our own lives. They got us trained to make us think that the police life is more valuable than our family member's life. Because when they say stop, salute, cars lined up, we go, he's important. Well, what about your family member who just died? Who was actually a decent person? Who was actually a community liaison? Somebody that people really liked. They don't get a send off like that. You don't respect their death. You don't respect their life like that. They got us so trained in our minds when they kill somebody in the streets, they'll say, well, officer's just trying to get home to his family. And we go, yeah, the police officer just trying to get home to his family. As if the person that got pulled over wasn't trying to get back home to their family. That's how trained they got us. That's how brainwashed we are. We're dealing with an acute case of Stockholm syndrome. Ain't none of their lives more important than the lives of my family members, fam, or mine. I don't look at none of them like that. I mean, none of them. Not it ain't one person that has ever walked through the White House. Life is more important than mine or my family members. That's the way I think. They can't get me with that. You can't trick me with that. Nah. Nah, my family members' lives are important. My life is important. And more important to me. I don't give a damn what everybody else think. My life is more important to me than their lives are. That's right. I said it. My life is more important. If you watch how Trump behaves, he tells you every day that his life is more important, that his job is more important than your job. Because, hey, he came in day one firing hundreds of thousands of people. Day one, firing left and right. All those federal workers who thought that their jobs were secure, they got fired. He was firing federal workers left and right. These federal workers who thought their jobs were recession proof, they got fired. He fired them. He fired air traffic controllers. Planes were falling out the sky left and right like dead birds for a whole month and a half or so. And nobody is talking about that anymore. Just like they're not talking about all of those COVID deaths that could have been avoided had Trump administration the first time around, had they responded sooner. They don't talk about all of those hundreds of thousands of people that died in America from COVID. Yeah, and now you got the Hunter virus. How many gonna go that we got to deal with that? It's wild that those cases are making their way to the United States, have made their way to the United States, and they're starting to spread. Wouldn't it be something? Would it be a coincidence that one president experienced two pandemics? Got a pandemic off each one term? Is that a coincidence? I'm not buying it, fam. I don't believe it. I'm not even a conspiracy theorist type of person. I'm not the type of dude that every time somebody die, you automatically think it's a conspiracy. I'm not that dude, especially celebrities. Every time a celebrity dies, somebody say, oh, he was sacrificed. No, he was a damn junkie. He was on drugs. That's what happened. When you're addicted to drugs, you usually die of a drug overdose. So I'm not that person that don't believe that a person can just die who's a celebrity. I'm not that dude. If I look at their life, if their manner of death is consistent with their lifestyle, that's what it is. If there's an artist out there who's in the streets, who likes to get into drama, who goes out there and creates enemies, everywhere he goes is a dark cloud. If he gets on records and disrespect the dead and taunt the survivors, and he gets killed, gunned down like a dog in the streets, that ain't no conspiracy. That's get back. So I'm not buying any conspiracy theory. I'm a realist. The more and more I live, though, more and more I realize that, fam, we in trouble and we're on our own. All of us, we're on our own, fam. We're on our own. Better stop getting caught up in that Republican Democrat thing. I'm telling you, we're on our own. The more and more I realize, the more and more I live, the more and more I realize that there ain't really an opposition. You know, that the Democrats and the Republicans are not oppositions, fam. They're two parties under the same umbrella. That's what this is. So you can root for this party or you can root for that party. This party has certain types of players and they got certain skills and personalities or whatever that you might relate to and you like. And then this person, this side over here, does things a different way. You got the Boston Celtics over here, you got the LA Lakers. Both teams are under the guidance of the NBA, the National Basketball Association, and they have to both abide by the rules. And both of these franchises, because that's what they are, they're franchises who pay fees to Daddy, the NBA, the National Basketball Association. Both parties pay fees to the National Basketball Association. They're under, they have to operate within those rules and that structure, and they're bound by those duties and the laws, the bylaws. We're on our own is what I'm trying to tell you, fam. We're on our own, so we can't get so wrapped up, in parties. Because like I say, every single atrocity that has ever happened in this country, every single bad thing that goes on in this country, every single problem that has ever been created in this country that it seems like it's just difficult for us to get over, has happened on the Republicans' watch or the Republicans or the Democrats' watch. If it happened on the Republicans' watch, the Democrats allowed it to happen. If it happened on the Democrats' watch, the Republicans allowed it to happen. You mean to tell me all this swaying back and forth for 60 something years, all of this swaying back and forth, Democrat, Republican, Democrat, Republican, Democrat, Republican, and we still going through this process of gun violence, blatant racism, discrimination, subjugation? We got more police officers, yet more crime. We got more police officers, yet more crime. We got a bigger budget, more crime. We got more police squad cars, still building new prisons. Still, the prison population rises. The prison population rises every year, continues to rise every year. But boy, they doing some good work. They're in Congress every day addressing the issues and fixing everything. But things continue to get worse. How is that? How is that? How is that? We 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 got technology now. Hell, since some of us are incapable of thinking, hell, we got AI now. They can do the thinking for us. You got people that are supposed to be smarter than the people who came before them. Technology operating at near optimum levels. You got all the money that you need for anything to fix any problem. But yet you got more corruption today in government than you've ever had. You got more corruption. You got more police shootings, more police officers gunning down people, unarmed people, innocent people. You got schools shutting down left and right. You got more malpractice suits. How you have all of that information, infrastructure, money, and you still have all these problems? How? How? I surmise that there's somebody who don't want us to live in harmony. There's somebody who don't want to make sure that most Americans have an opportunity to live a good life. There's somebody who don't want to see most Americans not be homeless, be able to feed their children and themselves. Somebody don't want to see you have achieved the American dream. Somebody don't want to see your kids educated. You know, they're whitewashing history. They're trying to rewrite history. They're taking a lot of historical events out of textbooks, and they're barring universities from teaching it. And if you teach it, they will say, we're not going to fund you if you teach it. Societies are supposed to go forward, not backwards. This country, this society that we live in, seems to have a hard on about going backwards. You know, it seems to get excited about going backwards. Ah, I don't know. I'm gonna end like I close. I'm gonna end like I started, fam. I'll close like I started. I believe that the shooting at the White House was staged, and I believe it was staged so that more people will support that $1 billion fund, that $1 billion plus fund that Trump is asking for, and that he wants to bust down between him, his companies, and January 6 rioters, who they have relabeled protesters. But what say you, fam? Drop a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts.